All right, for today's lesson, we're going to look at area of trapezoids. So we have our formula over here, 1/2 B1 plus B2 in H. So your B1s are your bases, and then H is height. So we're going to have more than one base. Your base is going to be your two parallel sides that most of the time will be your top and bottom. Remember, your height will be that dotted line in the inside. It may be a solid line as well. Okay, so start off with our formula. All right, so our bases, so there are bases. We have 10 and 6, and then our height is 4. So we're going to add them together, 10 plus 6, which is 16. Then we're going to multiply 16 times 4, which is our height. That is 64. And then we're going to half 64, which means divided by 2. And that's going to be 32 centimeters squared. Okay, so again, 64 divided by 2, 32. All right, so let's look at our next one. Okay, so we've got our formula, 1/2 B1 plus B2 times our H. So our bases are going to be across from each other, which are 10 and 12. Our height is the top to the bottom of the trapezoid, which is going to be 5. Okay, so now we're going to add 10 plus 12, which is 22. And then now we're going to multiply. So it's kind of like PEMDAS. We're going in a certain order. We did the parentheses. Now we're going to multiply 22 times 5, which is 110. Then we're going to take 110 and divide that by 2. And we get 55 centimeters squared. All right, so now we're going to flip it over the back and look at a few more examples. So this is a right trapezoid. Okay, so just like our triangle and parallelogram and rhombus, we do not use a number on the slant. So we're going to mark out our 5 that's on the slant. So I'm going to write down our formula, 1/2 B1 plus B2 H. So again, my bases are going to be across from each other, which is 5 and 8. And it doesn't matter which one is B1 or B2, because either way, you're still adding 8 and 5. And then your height is how tall it stands from top to bottom. In this case, it's 4. So we're going to add 5 and 8, which is 13. Now I'm going to multiply 13 times 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. Carry our 1. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5. And then we want half of 52, which means divide it by 2. So 2 will go into 5 2 times. 2 will go into 12 6 times. We get 26 meters squared. And it's still area, so we get meters squared. All right, so trapezoids with all odd numbers. So it's solved same way. Base 1 plus base 2 times our height. So your bases are top and bottom. So we're going to have 5 and 6. Height is 3. So we'll add first, which is 11. Then we'll multiply 11 times 3, which is 33. And then we're going to have 33. So divide that by 2. And since it's an odd number, it's going to be a decimal. So we get 16.5 meters squared. All right, so trapezoid with numbers we don't need. So again, If you see a number on the slant, mark it out. So we're going to mark out 7 and 5. So we have 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times our height. Bases are on top and bottom. So base 1, we have 6 and 8. Height is 4. So now I'm going to add 6 plus 8 is 14. Then we're going to multiply 14 times 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Carry a 1. 4 times 1 plus 1 is 5. Last is to half 56. So that means divide it by 2. And we get 28. All right. So upside down trapezoid. So it doesn't matter what it looks like, okay? It looks different, but the bases are still across from each other. So we have 1/2 base 1 plus base 2. Now we're going to times it by our height. So base 1, we have, for our bases, we have 7 and 5. Again, because they're across from each other, your height is basically in between your two bases, which is 6. So I'm going to add my bases, which is 12. Then I'm going to multiply 12 and 6, which is 72. And then the last step is to half 72. So we're going to divide it by 2. And we get 36 meters squared.